In the left playing Mercia, we have Khal-El versus Pedient playing Sedge. So I am curious how this is going to play out. Mercia can be very strong. If you can get golems up with her, she becomes terrifying because those become very cost effective. Let's take a look. So obviously big difference here. Mercia going for that barracks capture, going for the middle path instead of going up the aggressive route. And you know, there are some differences here. You do get more economy if you send your commander up this way. It takes a little bit longer to get the second barracks out, but something we're beginning to realize with the game is that in situations where you have like 3 barracks production, it actually is often worth it to prioritize economy over that extra couple rounds of production from a barracks early on. Because, you know, there's only so much you can do with like 17 swords or whatever. Like, you really want to have like a single knight in the early game can be incredibly oppressive, do a ton of damage. Whereas, you know, having, I was exaggerating earlier, but having like 3 or 4 extra swords over just one knight, like the knight will do so well. Has way more ability to take down villages, has way more ability to kill units, much more mobile. So we're going to see extra economy on the side of Sedge. Pedient. Actually, knights coming out over here for Khal-El. Let's see. Okay, so Khal is just going to keep pushing forwards. I mean, great thing about Mercia is like, she builds groove and it doesn't matter if she gets damaged because she just heals back up. And you know, Sedge actually has built quite a lot of groove himself, so gonna be pretty scary. But there's an archer and a couple knights on defense here. And sure, Sedge is gonna build more groove. Spear's coming out actually is quite nice. Can't really attack into him now, especially with that balloon preventing surrounds. No real anti-air. Like, you've got Harpy, which can kind of damage balloons, and an archer, which doesn't really damage any air units particularly much, but can actually be the difference maker in certain circumstances. Okay, Khal-El is just gonna kind of pull back a bit, defend here. But both players being incredibly aggressive. They're gonna get ready to knock down villages on their strong fronts. And actually, we're seeing Khal-El really respect Pedient and sending the dogs back just for the defense. And ooh, I don't know how much anti-air there is on the side of Khal-El. Pedient's got that dragon. That dragon is very scary. Has knights of his own down on the south. So Mercia is kind of up here by herself now. She may honestly just have to retreat, yep. You know, like a sword's gonna decap and another sword's gonna capture, but one of those is gonna die. And actually, that's quite a bit to throw away just to capture a village. Because, like, this sword's up on the top right is gonna decapture. Now Pedient, I mean, there's a huge concave of units here. So yeah, I wonder how this is gonna go. Right, let's decapture. Even has dogs ready, so if that sword tried to be aggressive at all, it would just die. Now Pedient, just kind of shuffling back a bit. Has a lot of groove. Gonna actually have Sedge groove next turn. Up against the Mercia that only just got groove herself, really. Still hasn't used it. But, you know, you want to get golems out and you want to start sending them to the front. And that is like the job for Khal-El. And you know, dragons can be good too, but golems are like the thing you really want with Mercia. That is her ultimate army composition. And yeah, she does get it. And she has a balloon to transport down to the south. So we could very well see commander versus commander start to happen. Actually, they're both playing really passive as far as like sending armies in against each other. Very cautious about where to engage. haven't seen too many opportunities for each side could exploit. So yeah, I wonder how this is gonna go. Alright, Khal-El sees like an opportunity to attack. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, right, yeah, that's really good. So it gets the witch next to the dragon, so if this witch comes up and hits, it will just die to this mage. And yeah, Mercia even feeling bold enough to attack a village up to full health. Ooh, Archer comes for the pick off. And we're just seeing Khal-El kind of dedicate here. Gets more golems out. Mercia can't transfer down. So that is one worry, but Khal-El is starting to push in. And what can Pedient do to strike back? Couple small fights. Ooh, dog hits Archer. That's not too bad. Nice. Spear crit coming out. Dragon's gonna hit a village for free. That's gonna get captured. And this golem actually is gonna mean that Pedient can start pushing back up on this front because everything came down to the south. The small force in the center, but it's really like all this army is over here. And now how is Khal-El going to push forward from this point? Still a decent amount of time on the clock, 30 minutes. So they've used about half their time each so far. Khal-El is just continuing to push forwards. Gets a heal on the archer, crit on the dog. I think the harpy has to move back though, because you don't want to just lose that to a... Yeah, just moves that back. You don't want to lose that to a mage for nothing. Ooh, that's a really nice hex coming through. And even just gonna throw a couple units in here. I'm slightly concerned for Mercia though, she's a little bit vulnerable. Ooh, she's very vulnerable, but we'll see if there's any kill opportunities here, because now we have Sedge. Oh, and there's like opportunities to kill units with Sedge too. That mage goes down. What else can go down? Nothing just now, but Sedge can back off. Ooh, that sword goes down. I did not think that would kill. Okay. Pedient actually getting a pretty good turn there. Ooh, kills the dog. I would have thought you'd go for the heal off the village, but we'll see. What's Khal-El gonna do here? Walks back, heals. Golem comes forward, takes a little bit of damage from that village, but not too much. Just a little 4%. But now it's having spent a lot of money on your heals for units, not really going to have too much to build army with, so Khal-El kind of running out of steam here. A lot of this army is really clumped up. I think a hex is like totally good value at this point. Just continue to push up on this north side without losing too much in the south. And Sedge, this is going to turn into a meat grinder, and Sedge loves meat grinders. Every time a unit survives one of these hits, Sedge is going to finish it off. Ooh, and even just sneak Sedge up here is like, I'm just going to kill a couple units and then run away. And big witch hex comes in. Oh my god, that did so much damage. That might have even been worth the golds that the witch is worth. Like, not just the hex, but like even just losing the witch on top of that, because it is a bit damaged. And you're looking at just like 360 just for the golems and the dragon. Alright, Khal-El, now's the time for the counterattack. Big counterattack coming in here. Oh, gets the bad rolls though. Images one of the spears. Khal-El can continue to push. that said, Sedge is gonna get so much value. Mercia hasn't healed yet. Like, he hasn't used the groove at all. And honestly, that wouldn't have been a bad turn to use it because like, everything had been injured. You could have had like all this, it's on like 90%, she could have healed all of it. And because she hasn't actually, Sedge can potentially just, you know, kill more stuff. Oh, just kills the units. Okay. And yeah, Sedge actually doesn't have to even use Groove this turn. The army fight and the trade here is good enough. Drops a mage heal just to heal that golem up a bit more. Wants to keep a big chunk of army around so that Sedge won't go down. These golems are so tanky. That golem's on a forest. And there really isn't much that can damage it. Like, this dragon's a little bit too far away. And there's a ton of pink on this map in the center. And you know, there's an army down here too, so this could do a lot of work. Alright, we got these huge hexes coming in. And I think the goal here is to try and... Alright. Trades with the golem. Gets the big heal off after. Oh, it doesn't kill the dog. Oh, this is so unfortunate. And yeah, like there's so much army here that can chase as well. So like the witches could chase the dragon if it went in. And Pedient's just got such a huge advantage here because like any opportunity he can have to do damage with Sedge in particular means that Sedge will just run in, groove, probably run out after as well. And yeah, like even things like spears to critting will result in more death. One of these witches could run in, yep. More groove. Needs to be a little bit careful not to go too deep, because doing so would mean that Sedge would be unable to retreat. Okay, and just gets a big heal, gets another big hex. Oh, kills that. That's nice. They're just kind of stuck. Like, he can't actually retreat. So, we might just see Sedge sort of sit here, surrounded by units. Oh, I mean, this witch actually could have swapped places, but... decides against it. And Khal-El is just not taking the fights that you want. And, like, you don't want to be in this situation against the Sedge. You want to be, like, pushing on their multiple fronts so they can't get too much pressure out. Does take a golem down, but that is not ideal. Not what you want to see. There's like no army left. Like Sedge is just ground through it, and he's constantly had golems on the front line after, so you can't really counterattack into that. You can't do enough damage. You do go in, you're spending so much damage against golems. Even things like the mage. Sedge suddenly allows that to become a kill option and not just a really heavy damage option. And things like just, I mean that was, I guess, hopefully going to be the dog knocking it down to low enough health, but I mean just like Witch Hex goes burr and units go down. So. This dragon is completely uncontested on the south side now. Yeah, like, okay, you have a knight, I've got a ton of units, some of which will absolutely destroy your knight, so... Yeah, and now Sedge is, honestly, perfectly fine. Like, sure, you can kill this sword, you can kill the mage, and you can kill that witch, but yeah, like, Khal-El is so far behind. Pedient just... That is how you play Sedge. We saw a game with Sedge earlier. Sedge wasn't quite able to get what Sedge wanted, and this is a game where Sedge is doing what Sedge wants to do. There's all of these witches throwing hexes in. Ideally there's like an archer in there somewhere too, but it's fine. That is Pedient taking the game. And actually, that's Pedient taking 2 games because Khal-El was unable to play the second match this week and forfeited. So, Pedient taking that 2-0.